Mark Rogers TV college football predictions week 4. Let the record show 2-0 on Friday night. I tweeted out those picks of Stanford minus 13 against Oregon State and also Boise State an easy -1 at Virginia with the Broncos winning 56-14. All right, let's get to the games that matter on this Saturday week 4. Coming off a pedestrian 13-12 against the spread last week. I did only miss 2 games straight up, 54-7 overall straight up, 7 games under 500. Maybe I need to start cutting videos on my NFL picks and not just tweet those out. 23-10 against the spread NFL. 2-2 my confidence picks. Let's get back to college. 2-2 on the confidence predictions, and they have been winners in the past, and we expect them to do much better going forward. So we start with a confidence pick. Here it is. BYU at Michigan. Look at the performance of the two teams. The Cougars have played near elite competition in Nebraska, Boise State, also UCLA. Maybe they're worn out. Maybe the trip to Ann Arbor is going to be too much for the Cougars. Maybe it's going to finally implode on them in regards to the caliber of play that they've had to put on the field thus far. But they went to UCLA last week, lost by 1 point. They beat Nebraska on the road. They defeated Boise State. Sure, it took some miraculous plays out of Tanner Mangum and company, but I love BYU with a touchdown in Michigan. I can't believe this spread. Again, it may finally catch up to the Cougars, but I like BYU to win the game. Wouldn't be surprised, of course, if the Wolverines won it. They should win the game, but I like BYU's playmaking ability on offense and certainly take the Cougars in a confidence pick plus the 7 against Michigan. All right, let's run them down quickly. Michigan State, 25.5-point favorite against Central Michigan. Sparty gets it done, and they get it done in a big way, coming off just a 14-point win against the Air Force, which we predicted. But it's Michigan State covering 25.5 against Central Michigan. The other elite team in the Big Ten, Ohio State, has been hearing all week, if not for 2 weeks, that they are not the team that they were last year. They're disappointing. Yeah. They give it to Western Michigan, but I like Western Michigan plus 32.5, so it's a comfortable Ohio State win. Think 4 touchdowns. Again, if you listen to my predictions on a regular basis, you know I hate these huge point spreads. If we took out everything plus 20, my record shoots drastically up. You don't know who's going to be playing in the fourth quarter. You don't know how hard they're going to be playing, and you don't know what the coaches are going to call. You don't know if they're going to be ultra-conservative, let the time run out, or if they're going to put down the hammer and win big. You don't know. All right, big matchup in the ACC. Coastal Division with Georgia Tech going to Duke. I like the Dukies plus the 8 points. I know they're offensively challenged, only 10 points last week against Northwestern. Georgia Tech should be steaming mad after an embarrassing loss at Notre Dame. Not that they lost the game, but they were dominated in that game, only losing 30-22 on the scoreboard, but it was much worse than that. Georgia Tech wins, Duke plus 8 in this one. All right, we got Ole Miss just blowing out Vandy. So lay the, what is now 26.5 with Ole Miss. They're scoring a ton of points. I know they could be let down after the big win in Tuscaloosa, but I like Ole Miss. Too much talent. They put it on Vandy in the second half. Okay, Baylor and Rice, the Owls are playing fairly well. Take the 34 points against the Bears, who are a sieve on defense. And yes, Baylor could win this thing 70-20, but I believe that Rice keeps it reasonable. So take 34 points. That's a ton. All right. Really good matchup despite Arkansas's troubles. Neutral site game against Texas A&M. The Aggies could really start to show in the next few weeks whether they truly belong or they're just another 7-5 Aggies team like they were last season. Aggies showing exceptional defense against Arizona State in their one huge challenge this season. Taking on an Arkansas team that's not exactly playing well, coming off losses to Toledo and Texas Tech. I was surprised by both, especially the game against the Red Raiders as an 11-point favorite. I like Texas A&M to win. They're just a better football team with possibly the best wide receiver core in college football. Kyle Allen, the defense, much improvement under John Chavis. Arkansas plus 7.5 points here, though. Texas A&M wins. Take the Hogs plus the 7.5. Tennessee-Florida, pick'em game. Whoo! Gators have won 10 straight. Volunteers with more offensive playmakers. Both teams have their issues in regards to suspensions and injuries. The game at the Swamp. I like Tennessee to finally break through and win the game. Florida just has too many issues on offense, especially the offensive line. Both teams not the best up front offensively, and you need to look at that most important position on the field after the quarterback position, offensive line, and these are two marginal ones in the SEC. I like Tennessee to win a squeaker at Florida because the Gators, again, offensively challenged, but look at what they did against Kentucky last week defensively. They really lowered the boom. I usually side toward defense if it's up in the air, but I like Tennessee to make a few plays on offense. Better quarterbacking, better skill position players. Vols win it over Florida, finally break the drought. LSU goes to Syracuse. This looks like a give-me line at 24.5, but LSU could definitely go up north after a big win at home against Auburn and sleepwalk through a win by 14 to 17 points. I think they will make some plays in the fourth quarter and grind Syracuse down with a running game, and even though that could spell clock use, I think LSU's too much here, and I like the 24 points to cover Tigers over the Orange. Notre Dame, UMass, I know that's a 29-point game. I didn't even write down who I think's going to win it. Notre Dame's going to win it, but in regards to the spread, you know, UMass plus 29. Didn't research that one. Don't really research any of these. Just you got to take my word for it. Mississippi State, Auburn. Yeah, this is going to be razor close, I think. I expect the Tigers to bounce back. New quarterback in place in Sean White replacing Jeremy Johnson. Sean White is a capable, talented player. Is he ready for this game yet? We shall find out in a few hours. Take Auburn plus the 2.5 points. Take Mississippi State. This is something, again, I rarely do because how many games are decided by 1 or 2 points? Few. So if it's under a field goal, I typically don't take one team to cover and the other team to win the game, but I do it here with Mississippi State and Dak Prescott winning, razor close at Auburn. Take the Tigers plus the 2.5. All right, Bama wipes out Louisiana Monroe, regardless of what happened the last time they met in 2007. Tied minus 37. They win. TCU, Texas Tech. I really like this pick with TCU now down to a 5-point favorite against Texas Tech. I know the Red Raiders just beat Arkansas. People are overreacting to that. People are overreacting to TCU's issues defensively. I know they've lost a ton of starters, but Gary Patterson coaches defense. They are going to step up to the challenge and make this a confidence pick. TCU covers 5 points at Lubbock. All right. Oregon, Utah, the first of 3 huge games in the Pac-12. If you don't know what football to watch this weekend, college football is centered on the West Coast this weekend. You've got 3 great games in the Pac-12 potentially. Oregon, Utah, I like the Utes to go out there, make it close. Oregon wins. Vernon Adams at quarterback had the week off last week. Both quarterbacks, including Travis Wilson of Utah, banged up. Utes defense keeps it close. Take Utah plus 11 points. Oregon finds a way to win in the fourth quarter. Oklahoma State, Texas. I love this game too. Man, maybe I'm getting a little trigger happy on the confidence picks. Mark it down. Oklahoma State, way too much for Texas. Know the game's in Austin. Know that Texas showed improvement offensively last week, but that was against Cal. This Oklahoma State team, we haven't seen them play anybody yet. They've played nobody in 3 wins, but this is going to be a good team that is the one team that could challenge the trifecta of TCU, Baylor, and Oklahoma. It's the Cowboys. Lay the 3 against Texas. They win big. USC, Arizona State. I like a close game. Trojans win. They bounce back from the loss against the Cardinal. They're a little too talented for Arizona State. We saw that the Sun Devils may not be quite as good as we expected in the offseason in that loss to Texas A&M, but they're at home. So take the Sun Devils plus the 5.5 points. USC wins. UCLA-Arizona. In regards to my selection, I hate that the Bruins have lost 3 defensive starters, including one of the very best in college football in Miles Jack. Also, Fabian Moreau at cornerback and Eddie Vanderdoes at defensive end. So 3 exceptional players. All 3 of these guys, big recruits, exceptional players. But Jack, he's the man on that defense. Plus, you got Josh Rosen, really with his first big road start as a college freshman at Arizona. So it seemingly is going against the Bruins in this one. They've won these games under Jim Mora by an average of 24 points a game, averaging over 200-plus yards differential over Arizona. So the Wildcats have a lot to play for. A lot of people, including me, kind of disrespected their Pac-12 South Division championship last year. But UCLA is just a better team. Ishmael Adams back at cornerback, or back at safety. UCLA wins. They cover 2.5. And there are your college football predictions. And this works better if I hear from you. So make your picks, send in the comments, and we'll talk about it right here on Mark Rogers TV.